All right, welcome back from your break. This is Dr. Matthew J. Traum again. This is the second video in the fourth lecture of the engineering design course. We are talking about creativity and ideation. This is the slide that we stopped on last time, so this is where we will pick it up moving forward. This slide talks about brainstorming, which is probably the most widely used creativity ideation approach, the one that you guys will most likely use as you're going through your design processes in the course. The purpose of brainstorming is to generate a huge number of possible solutions, as many solutions as will fit on the page, and even more than that if possible. As many solutions as can possibly be generated. That is the goal of brainstorming. Um, Most of those ideas eventually will be discarded, but the ones with merit will be explored further and likely will eventually lead to the design solution that you ultimately prototype and then communicate to whoever it is who's doing the mass production of your solution. So there is a significant amount of, I guess, culling of ideas after the brainstorming process, but you don't worry about that as you're doing brainstorming. You just try to generate as many ideas as possible. And to do this, you're going to need a small group. Usually the best size is somewhere between 4 to 8 people. Now here are the steps of brainstorming ideation. The first is that there is a leader of this group of 4 to 8 people, and the purpose of the leader is to essentially just keep things moving forward to prevent the process from stalling out or becoming stagnated. So to start that process, the leader formulates a problem statement as a starting point for the brainstorming ideation process. Then the leader convenes the group and reads the problem statement to the group, and the group then spends about 3 minutes in silence. So nobody asks any questions, nobody says anything. The group members just sit there in silence, and they write down ideas. So everybody will have a notepad or a series of note cards, and they will write one idea per card or one idea per sticky note for about 3 minutes after hearing the problem statement from the leader. The next step in the brainstorming ideation process is the leader conducts kind of a round robin where each member of the group reads what they deem to be their best idea. So one of the several ideas that they generated in that 3 minutes of silence. Now, an important rule here, which I've stated before, but I'll state again because it's important, is as these ideas are being read, there can be no criticism from other members of the group, no matter how outlandish, ridiculous, impossible the ideas are that are being read in this stage of the process. Nobody can make negative comments. That's super important. You don't want some negative comment to cause you to lose an idea that might, at least at the outset, seem outlandish, but as you evaluate it against the design solution, becomes the preferred solution. If you lose it early in the brainstorming ideation process, that's travesty. You're not going to end up with the best solution in the end. So no criticism as those ideas are being read. Next, members of the group, as the ideas are being read, instead of thinking of criticisms or why those ideas might not work, members of the group are encouraged to use the ideas being read as stimulus to generate more ideas. So once the round robin is done and everybody has read at least their initial round of ideas, then a conversation ensues led by the leader where ideas are synthesized from the ideas that are read, new ideas are generated, the brainstorming process continues, and people write down new ideas as they pop into their heads on the note cards that they have available to themselves. After usually about 15 or 20 minutes, this process stalls out and you run out of new ideas. And at that point, the leader calls the brainstorming ideation session to a close and collects all of the cards with all the ideas on them. And after the session is over, the leader then classifies all those cards into related groups. Usually if they're sticky notes, you stick the notes like up on a wall, and then you write the topic that kind of defines each group of cards above that grouping. And a lot of times you will then bring the group that did the brainstorming process back in maybe a day or two later, and once they see those topical headings above all the ideas, new ideas are generated and the brainstorming process can continue. So that's the brainstorming process. Again, the goal is just to produce as many unique solutions to the design problem as possible. There's another approach which is called Synectics, and the purpose of Synectics is different than brainstorming. The purpose of Synectics is to promote what's described as analogical thinking. That is, promoting among a group of people working together the ability to see parallels among dissimilar topics. So like brainstorming, this is a group activity, so you need about 4 to 8 people to do it. Like brainstorming, as the ideas are being discussed and generated, there can be no criticism, no negativity, no matter how outlandish the ideas are. And it's fundamentally different from brainstorming in that the purpose of brainstorming is to produce as many solutions as possible, whereas Synectics has a goal of the group working collectively together toward a single solution. So instead of generating a lot of solutions, you look for single specific solutions as a result of the Synectics process. I've just hit 7 minutes, so I'm going to pause here for another break. We'll come back and finish this slide after the break. So see you in a few moments.